Well, here's something that I never thought I'd be doing, another Mastertronic game review. As I mentioned a couple of videos ago, I have actually managed to locate a copy of the one game that I thought didn't even exist Mastertronic release wise. It is of course Five-a-Side Soccer on the Mad packaging. Big thanks go to Oliver from Germany, who contacted me following seeing my Rarest Games video to confirm that the game does exist, and luckily for me he had a spare copy which we've now done a trade for. Obviously you can see I have it in my hand, so without further ado let's get on and review the game. So here we have the front cover, and as you can see it says Five-a-Side Soccer, and it's got that comic book style artwork that the early Mad releases had. So you've got the football player skidding in there, thudding into someone who's hit the ball, and it says "Drat, my last chance," and what is presumably the defender there is saying "Phew, just saved it," although you would have thought the keeper would be saying that really. And you've got the Mad Games logo at the bottom there. And this is interesting, isn't it? I wonder if this is why it's so hard to find a copy. The spine actually doesn't have the name of the game on. It's got the catalogue number, Mad 9, and a space for the logo to go onto, but it hasn't actually got the logo. Pretty peculiar. And on the back we've got some screenshots. As you can see, it's a game of football. Not much more to say about those. And the blurb says, joining the fastest moving game in the world when you play Five-a-Side Soccer, an action-packed sports simulation from Mastertronic. There's not a lot of detail about the game, but what could you say? It's Five-a-Side Soccer. So let's take a little look inside. As you can see, bit of introduction to the game. Joining the fastest moving game in the world when you play Five-a-Side Soccer. Each game lasts 10 minutes with full crowd atmosphere and an announcer to keep you up to date with the action on the field. The tackles bite hard and the players twist, turn and shoot as the crowd roar their approval. You'll know you've been in a game when you play Five-a-Side Soccer. And it's got some options. Choose whether to play a full game or take part in a penalty shootout. Choose whether to play the computer or a friend. I think we all know what I'll be doing there. So it's a 1 or 2 player game, joystick only controls, and features include astounding 3D animated graphics. That might be a bit of an exaggeration. An incredible voice synthesis. That could be interesting. And we've got the loading instructions there and the copyright. And inside, one last time, foreign language instructions. And here we have a very unspectacular loading screen. Oh, maybe not so unspectacular. I was just going to say all it is text, and then this has come up, which as you can see is a chap running around. It looks like he's about to eat that ball actually, but that's a better loading screen than I was about to start describing. The other one just had a load of text on about who made the game and so forth, so a pleasant surprise. So here's the rather grey title screen, not very spectacular looking, and you may recall when I've been talking about this game in other videos that it is a re-release of a game originally published by Anirog Software, in this country at least. So what this suggests then from the title screen is that some reprogramming of the game has been done at some point, because as you can see it says Mastertronic Software at the top there. Otherwise it's a very bland title screen just with the Five-a-Side logo and some options for choosing what kind of game you want to play. So you can play a 1 or 2 player game, penalty kicks 1 or 2 player, and also a difficulty level. So obviously I'm going to play a 1 player game, and I'm going to play on easy level because why wouldn't I? I don't want it to be any harder than it needs to be, and I suspect the computer will beat me anyway. So I will press that and you get to put your team name in. So we'll be Matt FC, and away we go with the game. As you can see, we've got the screen there with the football pitch on in a very fetching shade of fluorescent green, and some crowd noise at the beginning there which is now dissipated, and it's five-a-side football. So it's a left to right scrolling football game with 5 players on each side obviously, and the idea of the game obviously is to score a goal. And in this case save the goal as many times as I can, which is I'm doing pretty well at the moment. So you run around by controlling the joystick and you kick the ball or save the ball by pressing fire. So that's pretty much all I can say about the game. You can see again Mastertronic Software on the advertising boards there, again suggesting that some reprogramming of the game was done by the programmer in order to make it branded Mastertronic. It's 5 minutes each way. I'm not going to make you sit through the whole 5 minutes, but there's not a lot you can do once you've got the ball. You just have to win the ball. You can tackle your... I've conceded a goal there. I thought I'd saved it then. It seemed to drift right past my goalkeeper. You might not have heard that, but there is some speech in the game. He says he scores then, or he scored perhaps. So the approach is basically run as fast as you can to the opposition goal and try and hit the ball into their goal. There's not much skill involved. Passing from one player to another is virtually non-existent. When the opposing player gets the ball, he just runs with the ball the entire length of the pitch, never passes it. So to tackle him, you just run alongside him and press fire to try and tackle him, which sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. As you can see, it's just an endless fight between the goalkeeper and one attacking player. And the background noise is non-existent. There's a few little tip-taps of kicking the ball or kicking the player in some cases. You can also foul the player sometimes, like I just did. The ball rebounds off the walls when you kick it against the walls, like in a proper five-a-side court. It does really resemble a kid's five-a-side football game in that basically whoever's got the ball runs up the pitch trying to score, doesn't pass to anyone, and you can end up with quite high scores, although this game is not proving that way at the moment. The most interesting thing about the game, or most annoying thing actually, is that you can't switch control from one player to another. The computer decides which player is going to run towards the ball and then makes them active. You can't actually press the fire button to switch between one player and another. So it's not the most thrilling of games so far. I'll try and at least get into the opposition half so I can try and score a goal. This is what I mean about not having control over a player. I've got a player really close to the keeper, so really close to the attacking player, and I can't get control over him. And they scored again, so it's currently I'm 2-0 down. It's not going very well so far. I think I've just taken their entire team out now. I don't think they've got any players left at this end of the pitch. It's just whether I can get to crack a shot off now. There we go. Oh, he saved it. I don't believe it. Saved it off the line again. Oh, what are you running away from the ball for, you idiot? I think there is very much a one-man team. He just keeps getting the ball back off them, and the ball's run out of pace there. Well, apparently I've given away a penalty for tripping. I don't know what that meant. Penalty for tripping, but there wasn't a penalty, and no one got an extra chance to score. Not really sure what happened there. I think they got a kick-off from that penalty. Must be an American rule. I've got a feeling this game was made by an American developer. Anyway, it's half time. I'm currently 2-0 down. Let's see if I can do any better in the second half. That was a good start. It's a really annoying game, just chasing after the ball all the time. Hoof it back up and see what happens. So I've got two of my guys in this half of the pitch, so I've got a chance here. he saved it again. Like a brawl in the middle of the pitch there. One thing I haven't really mentioned is the graphics, which are pretty nicely animated, to be fair. They're not the worst graphics of a football game on the Commodore 64 I've ever seen. The sounds are virtually non-existent, apart from the roar of the crowd when a goal's scored. And obviously there's a bit of speech, which you can probably barely hear on the video. It's a bit of a shame the keeper can't come off his line. But yeah, the graphics are really reasonably nicely animated. There's a bit of movement to the ball as it's being rolled along the ground. And he's going for it again. Another save. Bit of a recurring theme there. The crowd in the background's pretty lackluster in terms of action and movement. And let's see if we can just get a shot away here. Yay, I scored. Crowd does make a bit of movement when a goal's scored, and my little man was celebrating that he'd just scored as well. So it's 2-1. Here's a comeback on with 3 minutes to go. And that wasn't very clever, was it? It was a terrible back pass, and I've just given a goal away there. It is possible to score an own goal as well, by the way. So the comeback was short-lived. Look at this guy trudging along the pitch. Oh, I thought I had it then. I had a guy right up front. Oh, he dived out of the way of the ball there. All I had to do was tap it in. I couldn't get to it in time because my guy runs so slow. Goal. No! Their keeper's amazing. Utter rubbish. Yeah, by far the most annoying thing about this game is that you can't switch to the player that's closest to the goal. So if you happen to be given a player that's miles away from the goal, you've just got no chance. So we're getting to the last 20 seconds of the game now, and it's just been a case of running backwards and forwards up this pitch. So this is my last ever Mastertronic game review, I promise, for real this time. So what can I say about the game? It's not too bad. It's better than I was expecting, to be honest. It definitely wasn't worth the wait, and its rarity is not made up for by the fact that it's a really good game. But it's not as bad as I was thinking it might be either. That's the end of the game, and I've lost 4-1. The best way to sum it up is that, like most old football games, with a few exceptions such as Microprose Soccer and Sensible Soccer, they've not aged well. Like all sports games, the more recent the games are, the more advanced they are. So it's obviously not going to compete with the likes of FIFA and Pro Evolution Soccer. I will just have a quick go at the penalty shootout. And if you thought the main game was bad, this is really terrible. So I'm the goalie. I can move from left to right, and when I press fire, the guy will run up to take his penalty, and you just have to guess which way you're going to go, and unsurprisingly, he scored. You can't even see the guy doing a run up, so there's a really badly drawn crowd in the background. So it's my turn to have a go now. So he saved it. You can see how this is going to pan out. I was pretty close to that one. Not really sure what happened there. So all in all, anyway, as I was summing up, I think as a two-player game it could be quite fun. Oh, he saved it again. As a two-player game it could be quite good fun. It's not the greatest football game in the world. It probably would have been $2.99, but worth $2.99 back in the day, because basically there was not many better football games at this point in time. But it's not really... Oh, I actually saved one then. Their keeper's having a worldie here. I'm pretty sure I saved that then. I look pretty close to it. But I'm currently 3-0 down, which means the penalty shootout should be over, but it carries on anyway. Yeah, their keeper's just having an absolute greatest penalty saving performance in the history of penalty saving here. So this is the last one, I think. And once again he scores. Kind of lost my thread of what I was saying, but basically this is the last of all the game reviews. It's not the worst game in the world, probably just about worth the $2.99 asking price. And this is my last shot on goal, and amazingly I've hit that straight at the keeper, and yet for some reason I seem to have scored that one. So currently 4-1 on penalties, and that's the end. Don't think you really need to see any more. Not a terrible game, not a great game, pretty much sums up most Mastertronic games in fairness, pretty average. And that about sums it up. I've got a couple more collection review summary videos still to complete. They'll be up over the next few weeks, and then that will be it.
If you only knew the power of the dark side. 2, 1, 0.